Alright, everybody. Welcome to the vocabulary lesson. This is the 27th vocabulary lesson. I got the new word here, which is tradition and traditional. Alright, tradition means the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation, or the fact of being passed on in this way. Every shade of color is fixed by tradition and governed by religious laws. Synonyms: historical convention, unwritten law, oral history, heritage, lore, folklore, old wives' tales. The chancellor is by tradition allowed to bring alcohol into the house on budget day. Theology, a doctrine believed to have divine authority, though not in the scriptures. A part of culture that is passed from person to person or generation to generation, possibly differing in detail from family to family, such as the way to celebrate holidays. A commonly held system, the act of delivering into the hands of another. Delivery. All right. Produced. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to this word, traditional. Traditional, existing in or as part of a tradition. Long established, the traditional festivities of the church year. Synonyms: conventional. Conventional, customary, established, long established, accepted, orthodox, standard, regular, normal, conservative, common, run-of-the-mill, habitual, set, fixed, routine, usual, accustomed, old-fashioned, staid, unadventurous, conformist, stereotyped, cliched, undistinguished, wanted, old time, honored, proven, tried, and tested, historic, classical, classic, craft, old world, folk, familial, ancestral, ritual, ritualistic, ceremonial. The couple wanted a traditional white wedding. Handed down folk, historical, unwritten, oral, traditional beliefs. Antonyms: novel, unconventional, modern, produced, done, or used in accordance with tradition. A traditional fish soup. Habitual, done, used, or found. The traditional drinks in the clubhouse of a person or group adhering to tradition or to a particular tradition. Traditional Algerians of jazz in the style of the early 20th century, following or belonging to the customs or ways of behaving that have continued in a group of people or society for a long time without changing. The villagers retain a strong attachment to their traditional values, customs, beliefs. The school uses a combination of modern and traditional methods for teaching and reading. For teaching reading. Traditional. The dancers were wearing traditional Hungarian dress, costume. She's very traditional in her ideas and opinions. Recently, there has been some movement away from traditional methods of teaching. In Britain, the traditional Sunday lunch consists of roast meat, potatoes and other vegetables. In some countries, it is traditional for a bride to wear white. Here, it's traditional that you haggle over the price of things in the market. I'm a great lover of traditional Irish music. It's also suggests that traditional ways of telling the story overlook what sustains ordinary folk intent and on finding religious meaning and identity, even though the processing group never produced the structure. They perform just as well as the traditional group on on production tasks. It is ultimately an uncontentious kind of method, and on the face of it rather traditional. Tradition. The handing down of statements, beliefs, legends, customs, information, etc. from generation to generation, especially by word of mouth or by practice. A story that has come down to us by popular tradition. Something that is handed down, the traditions of the Eskimos, a long established or inherited way of thinking or acting. The rebellious students wanted to break with tradition, a continuing pattern of culture, beliefs, or practices, a customary or characteristic. Method or manner. The winner took a victory lap in the usual track tradition. Traditionless is an adjective. Anti-tradition is an adjective. Counter-tradition is a noun. Non-tradition is a noun. We've managed to survive, and I want to be a part of that tradition. The tradition has lasted ever since, being seen as a great natural hangover remedy throughout the world. And there is a tradition synonym here, which is a doctrine. Never heard of that word before. For this tradition word, this has to do about something to do with generation and the other things. Like a person to person or a generation to generation. Tradition is like a good word to use. I guess that's it. It's done. And I don't have any other words here to explain. Alright, folks. The lesson is over. And hope you guys enjoy the lesson. Well, before you go, for tradition, it just has to do with the transmission of customs and other generation stuff. And yeah, I guess that's it. It just has to do with this the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation, or the fact of being passed on in this way. It has to do about like, I don't know what transmission means. I don't know what generation means, but I'm going to learn that for sure. See you later.